It's the Australian National Mountain Bike Series. Today, it's round number 1 of the National Downhill Series. The only sharks today in the feeding frenzy are going to be of the two-wheeled variety, mountain bike style, as they leave this cage up here. Ouch! Hi, everybody. I'm Peter Graves. Happy to be with you. I'm the voice of mountain biking in the United States, and working with me today, calling the action, is John Flynn from Sunshine Television. John, this is a wonderful course, but it's also steeped with myth, legend, and mystery.
You got it in one, Peter. This is the home of Minjin the Mountain Devil. Well, nobody's ever seen the cat. Maybe we'll see it today.
All right. We do know for sure we've got some great downhill competition. How do you assess the men's field?
Look, this is a fast track, and there's some very fast riders. Rodney Mears, the local boy, he owns the track record, 1 minute 50. That's very quick. But yesterday in training, Scott Sharples from Perth, well, he clocked 91 kilometres per hour. That's very fast.
Indeed. And how about the women's field?
Well, once again, the local riders. I say Jennie Hayes will be up there. Also, Andrea DeLozzo. But it's a long way to the finish line. Anything can happen, and we'll find out.
All right. We're ready to start the competition on one of the most beautiful venues anywhere in the world. It is a picture postcard day, a mountain bike festival against the magnificent tropical rainforest. And hey, our intrepid explorer, Hans Ray, is out there in the jungle. You'll never know who you run into in the pursuit of mountain bike fun.
Uh-oh. I think I'm lost. Oi.
Hey, dude,
you up, mates?
Yeah, you're looking lost, mate.
Yeah, I was looking for a place to play with my bike. And now I'm here in the jungle.
Right, we're on our way to play.
Yeah, we've got this crater over there with trails and jumps.
Let's
So, Hans, what do you think of this jump?
Good, that looks pretty rad.
2, 1, go!
And so, from our thrill seekers high atop the A.J. Hackett Bungee Tower, the thrill seekers of a different kind, we're ready to start the downhill competition. All right, at the top, we're ready to go with the start of the women's downhill. Number 1 out of the gate, number 101, Brown and Bettersby.
And this will be interesting, Peter, because it's the first ride of the day. Track looks great. We'll see how she goes.
It certainly does. Now, in talking to the riders, it's technical, it's dry, it's dusty, and in the lower part, they're going extremely fast.
Yeah, you'll see it. This is the section of the course where they really have to do the hard work. Right on the brakes going through this technical section. A mistake usually means a slip up. You can come off quite easily here.
And Battersby coming down to the finish line right now. A good crowd out today. It is very, very warm. Look at her strength in the pedaling.
Excellent strength there in the pedaling. She's pushing hard towards the finish line, and this is where the valuable seconds are made.
All right, now we're still into the semifinals. Carolyn Hess next out of the gate right now. Very promising young Australian rider. And down, and that just throws your momentum completely off.
Well, that's a very tough section. There's 2 jumps in a row. She probably opted to do the wrong thing. She sort of sat on the brakes and wasn't the right thing to do.
All right, the course here isn't much more than a patch of sunlight between the trees with precipitous drops. Let's see if Caroline can get through that, putting the foot out now, kind of pivoting around the corner, going through the jungle, and down again, John, down again.
That was what I said about that technical section. There's tree roots everywhere. It's very hard to get up. Obviously, she came off there, and hopefully she can hold it out till the end.
Oh, that is so difficult. And now coming down to the finish line, our second rider in the competition, Caroline Hess, coming to our finish line. And we'll be back with more coverage in just a moment. Ready to go at the top of the mountain here. Peter Graves, John Flynn with you, and Isabel Bespaloff poised in the start gate out of Victoria.
Well, Peter, we've seen times of around 3 minutes for the women's downhill in the first round. I think the riders will need to be a fair bit faster than that in the final. Obviously, they've been riding conservatively. It looks like Isabel's still riding fairly conservatively, going through the jumps. She'll need to keep going and go harder in the next section.
And you see Isabel Bespaloff very focused coming down this 1.2 kilometer course right now. This is a tricky turn. A lot of people have had trouble here, John.
We saw it in practice and qualifying. The Happies, it's very tough, as is this next section here. Obviously, if you can get through here without a mistake, you're in line for a very good time.
All right, and Isabel Bespaloff coming down to our finish line right now in the semifinals. Back to the top. We have number 108, Jennie Hayes.
Okay, Jennie's one of the local riders from Cairns. She's been considered a huge chance of success here in Cairns. I hope she can do it.
I wonder if there's a lot more pressure on the local riders to perform here now with a highly partisan local crowd.
It does help the riders. I think it's probably a good thing rather than a bad thing, particularly when someone like Jennie knows the track, and you can see here that she knows the lines to take. She knows which way to go through the tough sections. All she's got to do is stay on the bike, and I think she'll be right up there for the final.
A tough section right there. She was not able to continue very well with the speed. Every time that foot comes off the pedal, there can be problems in the brake, in the speed. I wonder what it would be like here if we had a wet, muddy course. It would be very tough. Coming across Jennie Hayes, and now back up to the top, the local rider, Andrea DeLazzo. A lot of pressure on her today.
Andrea's considered another big chance here today. She's a very talented rider, got good credentials in Cairns, and she knows this track like no one else knows it. Here we see her going through the Happies. I hope she can hold it together through here. The key is not to sort of sit on the brakes too much, to actually pick your line and go for it through the Happies. She's doing that exactly just like her brother did it in the heats of the men's.
That's right, and just like an alpine ski racer, they have tried the course, checked it out during practice during the week, and trying to find the very best line they can. Now coming down to the finish line, Andrea DeLazzo in our qualifying, trying to stay aerodynamic, pushing the cranks hard. Here she comes, and the crowd loving her performance today.
Go Andrea, put her onto the finish line. It's where the valuable seconds are gained and lost, and I think that's a fairly good time.
All right, now at our competition, the spectators too become part of the action, watching, waiting, and marveling. What are they looking at? Well, let's take a look. Now we go back up top for the finals. An unbelievable montage of mountain bike excitement. Isabel Bespaloff right now in her final run.
Okay, Isabel will need a time of around about 2 minutes 40 if she's a chance of winning it. Obviously, she's going fairly conservatively once again, but she's got to push it hard through this next section. Coming down into the Happies, you've got to go at it. You've got to take that chance. Maybe you'll come off, maybe you won't, but if you don't know until you've tried. Here we go. She's through the Happies. Looks okay through there. Now it's onto the tough technical section. Hard on the brakes through here, Peter. It really does a lot of real pain to the wrists.
Absolutely, and just like the course at Cap d'Aille in France, the arms get really pounded. Coming down now, setting our first time to beat in the finals, Isabel Bespaloff, and are getting ready to cross the finish line. Her time will be 3:16.76. We go back up top now. Andrea DeLazzo now in pursuit of trying to beat Isabel Bespaloff's time.
I'd say she'll beat it too. A 3:16 is not a very good time on this track, particularly against one of the local riders. Andrea's got the local credentials. I think she'll do way better than 3:16, provided she stays on the bike. Here we see her going through the Happies. Now, I think you'll see in the next section that she actually will take her foot off the pedal. Here we go. Goes for more of the motocross style, which we see a lot of the local riders do up here. And it's a technique that's used locally by the riders, and it proves fairly effective.
All right, she is coming down, and there's no doubt about it. She is going to set the fastest time right now. 3:01.80. We'll be right back. An exciting competition. Hi, everybody. Peter Graves and John Flynn back with you. We go to the top. Brown and Battersby from Brisbane, the Australian downhill champion. John, a lot of pressure on her now.
But that means nothing up here on the Minchin track. You could be the national champion, you could be the world champion, you could come off here.
A wonderful and gnarly course that Glenn Jacobs has designed right now. Battersby coming down. There's a great crowd on hand today to watch the action, John.
4,000 or 5,000 at least. They're here to see some stacks, but they're also here to see some great technical riding as Bronwyn goes through the most technical section of the course. I hope she can hold on here, because if she does, she'll breeze through the next part.
This is the area where your speed is probably at the lowest, and Battersby now coming to the line. This will be the fastest time, 2:54.53. Now, Carolyn Haas, will she be able to have this lightning fast descent that could bring her into the lead? The fastest time so far, Battersby at 2:54.53.
A hot time, Peter, but Caroline's a chance of beating it if she can stay on a bike, and she didn't during the semi-finals.
Well, she's got to pull out all the stops right now. It looks like a great ride as she comes through one of the more technical spots of the course, carries the speed well through that turn, and she's doing it. Caroline coming to the line, 2:43.96. She has won it. Looking at the scoreboard, Brown and Battersby is in second.
I don't know why I controlled myself this time, and I was just having a really smooth run. I couldn't believe it. I had a really big grin on my face. I was coming down. I was just so happy with my run.
So it's a great way to finish the day.
Oh, it sure is. My mum and dad will be so happy.
Okay, sports massage is a pretty important part of the guys' training program, and at a big event like this, a lot of them are coming for pre- and post-event massage.
The crystal blue Pacific, looking out towards the Great Barrier Reef, makes this one of the world's most impressive venues. Now we have returned back to the top. Michael Running, the local rider who was 18th in the junior downhill last year at Metabier, France.
Talented rider with a big future. Michael's real strength in his ability to pick lines, and he's a very, very smooth rider.
You're watching the semi-finals right now. Good performances here. Among the top 10, we'll get them into the finals later on today.
Now, Michael breezing through the technical section here. That's what I was saying about his riding. He is so smooth. Now, coming down towards the finish.
All right, look at that aggressive style. This is very impressive. Up off the saddle, coming in, really pounding the cranks. He has ridden very hard, and a good run for him. Joshua Street now, next up. He is a two-time member of the Australian team at the World Championships, Bromont, Quebec, and Metabier, France last year.
And one of the big names of Australian mountain biking, Josh Street, and a good bloke to boot, and he's a tough rider in the downhill. Here we see him aggressively taking on the happy section, just makes it through.
Look at him carving through those difficult turns. He is on fire.
Okay, Josh, it'll be down into the blowpipe, and he'll get some pace coming out of here.
This is the rider who was 26 just recently at the Mammoth Mountain Kamikaze. Joshua Street now hoping to get a qualifying spot, and I'll tell you, he's going to get it. Now at the top, one of the Japanese riders in competition riding for Haro. This is Dan Takuma.
And good to see the Japanese riders here. Dan's a very well-credentialed rider from Japan. Breeze through the jump section. Now he comes down to the happies. He's got a bit of pace on here. Picks his line okay. Oh, it's not too good. Slides out a little bit. See how he goes here through the technical section.
Looking good right now, very focused here. The Japanese getting extremely strong in the downhill competition with the likes of Yoshihiro Yanagihara. Dan Takuma wanting to get a spot in the qualifying. And I think he's going to do it. Coming across the line, now back to the top, number 72, the local rider, John DeLazzo.
John's a big hope here today. He's a very talented rider, and he knows this track so well. Very fast rider through the individual sections of the track. We see him just breezing through the jumps. We'll see how he takes on the happies. This will give us a guide.
Oh, yeah. He looked good. He looked about as fast as anybody through that turn section.
Now he's taking on the taipan section. They call it the taipan because it twists and it turns, and he's doing fine through there as he comes down towards the blowpipe.
A little skid right there. Every skid can cost you a precious second. And now DeLazzo coming down, hoping to get a qualifying spot. I'll tell you, he's going to do it right now. Here he comes, number 72. Very aerodynamic, flat back with the upper body coming down to a very appreciative crowd. Stick around. We've got more downhill competition coming up.
Oh, yeah. You know, being the #1 ranked rider, you know, of course there's a few nerves, there's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of Cairns guys in the background here giving me a hard time at the moment.
But on the positive side of the ledger, names like Rodney Mears and Scotty Sharples are now out of contention. That weighs in your favour very heavily.
Yeah, well, that does help. But there's still a lot of top riders out there that are capable of winning.
Hopefully I can, I'd like to do #1, but it's hard to tell. I held back a lot in my run then, just so I can make it to the bottom in the top 10. but there's a lot of guys going really fast, especially Josh, just come back from America with a lot of experience, so he's really going fast.
Well, John, you qualified in 4th place, just about the best of the Cairns riders except for Mike Ronning. How do you think you'll go in the final?
I hope I go really well in the next run. Track is getting pretty well carved up. It's getting very slippery, but...
All right, ready to go at the top once again. We bring you the finals for the men. Simon Ford, number 303.
Local Cairns rider Simon Ford. Well, he doesn't dress much like a mountain biker, but we hope he can go fast. He's been very fast through individual sections of the track, and here today I think we'll see it once again as he comes down. Yeah, he's looking quite good.
He really is. You know, interesting point that you make. A lot of the riders wearing full body armor right now. He's going with just a helmet and a t-shirt.
Yeah, well, the kid's probably a bit crazy, isn't he, to go like that? Here we see him through the happies. Oh, very quick.
He really was. And look at the dust kicking. He's off the track and down. Oh, my. I hope he's okay.
And that's the danger. The Taipan section of the course has claimed a lot of riders, and Simon Ford, well, he's just another.
Oh, almost disappearing in the dust, but he's back up on the bike. This guy is tough.
He's tough and he's crazy. He'll come down fast through the blowpipe, but it's pretty much all over for Simon. You can write him out of contention.
That's right, but he will be setting the time to beat in our finals at the moment across the line, 2:39.62 for Simon Ford. Now at the top, number 16, Ben Munro.
Okay, the visiting rider from down south, Ben. He's a talented rider. We'll see how he goes here. Oh, he got a foot off the pedal in that early section. That'll cost him some valuable seconds. Hope he gets through the jumps okay. Well, he's not looking all that good.
And, John, you've got to be right on the edge in this sport, willing to take a risk right now. Now coming down to one of the tricky sections of the course. Oh, look at he's down, and he's out. Oh, so disappointing for him. Ben Bramham, number 22, next up in pursuit.
Now, this kid has genuine talent. He was the kid we saw bungee jumping at the start of the show. I hope he jumps like that as he goes through this next section, the jumps. I think if he gets through there okay, he'll be laughing coming down to the happies.
Well, it takes those kinds of nerves of steel to be able to pull it off right now. And here he comes, Ben Bramham, looking very good, throwing caution to the wind right now. And he's through that turn okay.
That was beautiful. Now it's down to the technical section where the tricks riders really have an advantage. You see he's got both feet on the pedals now. He's negotiating that with ease.
And this is one of the fastest times we've seen so far.
Excellent effort from Ben. He's going hard and he's going fast. I think he's going to be right up there.
Oh, he is indeed coming down now. Bramham with the time, 2:21.66. He's in the lead right now. And at the top, who will chase him? Number 18, Ross Style, the Apollo rider.
And Ross has the time to beat because Ben Bramham was flying in his ride. Okay, we'll see Ross going down towards the jumps. He's lost a foot off the pedal. That'll cost a couple of seconds.
That's right. Seconds are so important. They're so precious right now. Ross Style on a very important run right now.
Now, can he make him up coming through the happies? That's not a bad line he's picked going through there. He looks okay.
I love those big bank BMX-style turns. The good riders can really work on them. This is going to be the fastest time so far. Ross Style, 2:19.66. We go back on top. Bruce Hamley from Victoria.
Okay, Bruce has a time to beat here. Not a bad rider. Bruce is a good downhiller. He'll need to be good through the sections. Beautiful through the jumps. He's looking fast.
But Style has really put the gauntlet down right now. 2:19.66 is an extremely fast time. Look at him handle that bumpet. Oh, crashed. He's gone in, but he's okay. Now let's watch, see what happens. His handlebars look to be bent right now. He's trying to adjust them.
Well, he's got to get back up and continue with it. He just went too fast coming down to the happies. He'll keep going through the sections, but he's lost it, Peter. He just won't finish fast.
Oh, my goodness. He might have been the winner, but right now 2:22.58 was the time for Hamley. Next rider out of the gate will be number 3, Miles Davis, the Trek rider.
Miles has a chance here to impress. The one thing he has to do is not come too fast into the happies. Now we see him through the technical sections. He's looking quite good, 1 foot off the pedals, very fast. Hopefully this will be a quick time.
Miles Davis coming down, his time, 2. At the top right now, a very important run. We're in the men's finals. Mike Running.
Mike Running said earlier that he could go faster. Let's hope that he can go faster. Through the opening section, he looks focused.
He really does. You've got to stay focused. And the other thing, John, is you've got to be willing to take risks. You've got to be right on the edge.
Now we'll see him going down to the happies. He's picked a good line. He hasn't gone too fast. He's looking okay. Yes, he's picked a beautiful line. And he'll come around the corner fine. He's going to be fast.
You got to use that berm to shoot yourself around that turn, and Mike has done it right now. This is a very fine run indeed.
looking good through the technical section. As he comes down to the blowpipe, he'll need speed.
All right, coming to the finish line now. We'll check the time. It is 2:13.51. He goes into the lead right now. Back to the top, Joshua Street, number 7.
The fastest qualifier, Joshua Street. If he can only pick it up again, then he'll be a big chance of winning.
And he goes into the field as the number 1 ranked rider. Look at him go carrying the speed through there. And watch this, always a tricky and dangerous part of the course.
He's very fast through the Happy's probably the fastest rider so far there by the look of that.
Joshua Street right now on a very important run. Coming down to the finish line now, he's already ellipsed the time of Mike running. It will be 2:09.93 into the lead. And back to the top, Dan Takuma, the Japanese rider.
Well, doesn't Dan have a time to beat here? And I think he'll give it his best shot. The Japanese, they're known to go all out. Coming down through the jumps, he's lost no time there. Now he's looking very fast into the Happy. Slides out slightly into the berm. Oh, that's good.
Dan Takuma coming down now. He's ridden on the Norba and World Cup circuits in the United States, willing to risk it. All right, he has got a good time, 2:12.78, but it's not enough to overtake Joshua Street. At the top, the final competitor, John DeLazzo.
And he's possibly the only rider that can beat Josh Street, and he'll need to be fast, and he is fast. Excellent through the opening section, through the jumps, he's looking good there too. He'll come down to the Happies now. This is where the race will be won and lost.
Joshua Street has the time of 2:09.93. That's the mark that DeLazzo's got to shoot for.
And DeLazzo's flying now as he comes down through the technical section and into the blowpipe. He's fast.
Coming down, I think he's done it. I think DeLazzo's going to do it. Yes! 2:09.34. DeLazzo at the top of our scoreboard. Joshua Street in second.
It must have been a fantastic thing to come home to see the Cairns boy get home. You're a very happy man, obviously.
Oh, yeah, it was great to see that. Just overwhelmed. Yeah, it's pretty close racing out there. Josh nearly won it. But
John just rode that little bit faster than what I did, and congratulations.
Well, as we're ready to close up our competition here today, we have had a wonderful first go-around for the downhill, and certainly for the men, one of the very closest downhill competitions I've seen, John.
Peter, that was a fantastic finish. I mean, Josh Street, the final rider in, 0.6 of a second off the pace. We thought for a second that he'd won it. Well, John DeLazzo, the hometown boy, got up, and I can tell you, I almost shed a tear when he got up on the winner's podium. That was fantastic.
Certainly was an emotional moment, very exciting. And for the women's competition, Carolyn Haas came up with the victory.
Well, that was equally fantastic because Carolyn sliced 30 seconds off her first time in the final, and that was just an amazing run. Maybe the cat was chasing her down the hill.
We didn't see it yet, but what we did see was a very strong overall Australian team in the downhill competition. They look good as we approach the World Championships.
Well, I'd say the Aussies are now a force in downhilling, and today proved that. Some of our Aussie riders just did fantastic times on a very difficult and technical course, and come the World Championships, who knows?
Absolutely. A fine course, a marvelous crowd, and a great day of competition. Stay with us. When we continue, we'll bring you the World Cup Cross Country. It is a picture postcard day as we welcome you to Cairns, very near the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Hello again, everybody. I'm Peter Graves. Working with me at this World Cup event is John Flynn. We're switching hats right now. Note Maya Kubra and his very typical American-style hat. John, we've got a great competition coming up.
You said it all, Peter. It's going to be a special event here today in Cairns. A lot of great riders have come from all over the world for this one. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, for the men's competition, it is utterly a world-class field.
Bart Brenjens, let's talk about him. He's had a fantastic lead into this event. Bart, I've spent a lot of time with him this week. His attitude has just been fantastic, and I really think he can go out there today and win it.
All right. And for the women's competition, Susan Diamante certainly goes in as one of the prohibitive favorites.
Well, let's face it, really, it's Susan Diamante's race, but don't write off the Aussie girl, Meg Carrigan. I saw her win a race up here last year called the Triple R Classic, which sort of took in a lot of territory from the rainforest through to the reef. I think she can do okay.
All right. No time to enjoy the beauty of the Great Barrier Reef now. We're ready to go to the start of competition.
It's a really tough course, tougher than I've ever raced before, but I've been training pretty hard, so if everything goes right for me, I should do pretty well.
Well, I actually think there might be a couple of wild cards today. Rachel Bruce is a very good technical rider. She loves the course, and I think she'll do really well.
You know, I think I have a good chance of winning here, which is nice, but I'm not going to count my chickens before they're hatched. You know, I'm sure there's some really good riders here as well, and I don't want to put myself in the position of thinking I have it made, but we'll see. You know, I just don't want to crash and ride smart so I can last the whole race.
Go! Ready to go with the start of competition. The women are off on a 27-kilometer event and jumping out to the early lead, Janine Fayetz.
Currently the #1 ranked Aussie rider, Jennie Hayes. She's a big chance today, and she's going out very strong, hoping to give Susan Diamante a run for her money.
Rachel Bruce in second place, and now Susan Diamante surges into the lead over the bridge right now, wanting to establish herself right from the very beginning of this race. Number 907, Rachel Bruce going by now on the bridge. Brown and Battersby going by 50th in Meta last year in the cross country at the World Championships. And off the bike right now on this very grueling climb, Susan Diamante.
This is one of the tougher sections of the course here. It's called Jacob's Ladder, a section of switchbacks. Off the bike is also Jennie Hayes. They'll both push it hard through here. There's Meg Carrigan, also the one I rated a chance earlier. Don't write her off yet.
All right, Rachel Bruce going by, and number 905, Brown and Battersby getting off the bike. It is a tough course, but back on the bike and climbing, and very much in control of the race on this hot day, Susan Diamante.
Susan's looking good at this early stage of the race, Peter. Heading into the section they call Cloudies. They call it Cloudies because, well, it goes up into the clouds. And Jennie Hayes and Meg Carrigan, well, Meg's not looking real flash there.
No, but she is in third place right now and holding her own very well. An extremely difficult climb, and number 910 struggling at the moment, Michelle Bland.
Well, you don't want to get that far behind at this early stage of the race. Susan Diamante setting a very fast pace, and the tragedy is some of the Aussie riders just may not be able to keep up.
Did I get on?
Number 908, in pain, out of breath, Veronica Lane on the climb.
I feel sorry for her here, Peter. The lactic acid already starting to build up in the legs. Not a good situation to be in, and she's really going to do it tough, as is number 913.
Louise Howe, who despite it on the climb, still has her game face on. And coming in at the end of lap number 1, Susan Diamante.
And Jennie Hayes not far behind. The race isn't over yet.
Meg Carrigan coming now to the end of lap number 1. And while mountain bikers have their own universal language, the Aussies have a wonderful way of describing things.
Together, well, three more cassowaries. We're coming around. Now, before start.
What's he talking about, Bart?
I don't know.
Listen, guys, I'm going to have to teach you some Aussie lingo here and show you what it takes to win a mountain bike race here in Australia. Okay, guys, just at the start of the race, when you start a race, you've got to pounce like a roo. Roo? Yeah, like a kangaroo. Come, I'll show you. Oh, wow, look at this! Go for it. That's a kangaroo, boys.
An aerial view of luxurious Palm Cove, just north of the city of Cairns. Once again, let's check in with Rob Eva, Bart Brentjens, and Jimmy Killen.
What happens when it starts to rain?
Oh, mate, when it starts to rain, you've got to ride like a croc.
A croc? What's a croc?
You like him? What do you think, Bart?
Yeah, he's good. Has good grip.
I use him for my mud traction.
Yeah.
I watch how he goes in the mud. I do the same.
Should be okay.
Wouldn't mind having one myself. You might have one on Sunday if you crash. Might have one in your back pocket.
And now back to action in the women's competition. Their second lap time. It is Susan Diamante showing her dominance in the competition.
Now we're into some very technical sections of the course, and this is where Susan's experience should really show through. She's a little bit more experienced than the Aussie riders, and as we see her coming up into the switchbacks here, she's looking fantastic.
She's also really one of the world's best climbers in the competition. Very fit, light and lithe on her bike, and a terrific climber. Problem right there with the chain for a number 901, Jennie Hayes.
Technical problems, Jennie Hayes. That's one of the hazards of mountain biking, and of course, riders aren't allowed any technical support, so Janine's on her own out there.
Still riding well, and off the bike at this moment, Meg Carrigan, the 33-year-old mother of two. One thing the camera does not show today is the excruciating heat, a very unforgiving race. Let's go out to John, who's standing trackside.
Entering the cloudy section on lap 2, Susan Diamante leads the field by more than a minute. Barring something unforeseen, I'd say she can win it from here. Back to you, Peter.
And John, there's no doubt about it. Susan Diamante certainly the class of the riding field today. Number 901, Jennie Hayes coming up now, riding extremely well, trying to stay as close as she can to Susan Diamante, and Meg Carrigan, right now running in third place.
All three riders are very good uphillers, but the rider who we should really watch out for here is Bronwyn Battersby, because we're coming up to the downhill section, and Bronwyn's real strength is the downhill.
Just like Julie Furtado, she can pick up a lot of time on the downhill sections of the course. Wink Zimic right now, the Volvo Cannondale rider, riding out of Japan, number 911, a nice smooth cadence, number 910 off the bike. Susan Diamante on the downhill. She's a very skilled downhill handler right now. Watch her make time very effortlessly.
Susan will need to be skilled through this section. It's called the Cloudies downhill, coming down from the Cloudies. A lot of very rough riding through there. And, well, Susan, she looks like she's going fine. And here we have Janine Fayette's going through.
And Susan Diamante, the climber out of Gunnison, Colorado, now on her final lap.
It's been a fantastic effort from Susan. She's got this race won because there's really nothing tough up ahead. Janine Fayette's hats off to her too, because she's done well. And Susan, well, she's looking happy. I can tell she's really getting into this. This is going to be a win for her here in Australia.
It's very important for her, John, because the World Cup opener is going to be here next year, and she wants to know a lot about this course. This is the way to do it. And they're certainly discovering their climbing legs on these very challenging climbs here in Cairns. Susan Diamante through the forest now, calm, cool, collected. Really her trademark. She wants this historic win. Let's go out to John, standing by at trackside.
On the final downhill section of the course, Susan Diamante leads Janine Fayette by more than 4 minutes. It appears Susan has the race totally won. All she has to do from here is stay on her bike. Back to you, Peter.
Stay on her bike indeed, John. There is the smiling, lovely face of Susan Diamante coming to the finish line with a World Cup win.
Janine Fayette's coming in second. Isn't she happy also?
Indeed, a great performance for her back out on the course right now, chasing the bronze medal, Meg Carrigan.
No smiles from Meg Carrigan or from Bronwyn Battersby, but third in a World Cup event. Well, I don't think that's such a bad finish after all.
And Meg Carrigan pedaling in with a nice smooth style. It will be the bronze medal for her today in Cairns. And so we'll throw up the numbers for you. The results: Susan Diamante, Janine Fayette, Meg Carrigan. And let's take a look at the Grundig overall standing.
It's great getting to see the course too before next year's World Cup, and I hear the World Championships will be here in '96, so now we kind of have a leg up on everybody as far as knowing what the area is like and what the course, will be like.
I think the worst one was the last one we had to walk up. It was just so hard. Like the last lap, I wasn't sure whether I was going to get to the top or not, but it was really hard, especially over there. It was really tough climbing.
The men step to the start line in just a moment.
A wave of shocking crimes. A robber that no one can see.
There's no such thing as an invisible man.
Beautiful aerial look at the venue. We'll be back to competition in just a moment. But let's return to Rob Eva and his great adventure.
Hey Rob, what else do we have to look for on the race course?
Far around these parts, mate, you gotta watch out for drop bears.
Drop bears?
Look up.
Good. What's the problem?
You're stepping in it, mate.
It's a long race. I think it's 5 laps to go. I think 2 hours and 40 minutes winning time, just like that. And I think you have the first 2 laps a little bit on reserve, so should be a long race.
It seems like everybody's really friendly down here, and the course is good. The weather's maybe a little hot today, but actually not too bad. I think it's going to be a good race.
5 laps of this are going to be hell of the heat. I've been in the forest early this morning, just can't breathe, there's no wind, so I'm going to take it real easy at the start.
A very historic World Cup event about to unfold. There are 14 nations, 5 laps, a 46-kilometer race. The first time ever we've been down here. It is fantastic.
And great to have it down here too, Peter. This is a fantastic event for Cairns and for Australia. We love a bet over here in Australia. I'd say Bart Brengens.
All right, we'll see. All the top riders in the world, the names that are synonymous with excellence, are here. And look at the fast pace so far.
They're stirring up the dust on this opening section, Peter.
Feel the speed and listen. It is an amazing course and a good blend of technical and speed that are required of the riders. Bart Brengens from Holland in the lead right now, and the young climber, Jimmy Killen, out of Greeley, Colorado, is in second place. There is the world champion, Hendrik Schurnis, with a rainbow jersey.
There's been a lot of talk about Jonas during the week. He arrived here just lobbed in town in Cairns. No one knew he was coming. He's obviously very focused for this race, but it's Bart who's in the lead.
That's right, Bart Brentjens, who desperately wants a World Cup win. He's never tasted it so far. Jimmy Killen, the young American rider, and then a very strong field. There's Rob Eva going by. Right behind him is Mike Closier.
It'll be interesting to see how the Aussies go today. Rob Eva during the week was very focused for the race, but it's going to be a very tough one for him because the likes of Jonas and Bart Brentjens are really going to set a very cracking pace.
And don't forget the young American rider, Jimmy Killen, just 21 years old.
A fantastic kid, Jimmy. During the week, he seems so happy just to be here, just to be part of this event. And I think he's really going to do it well here.
And there is Bart Brentjens, followed very closely by Henrik Jonas. This is some kind of race, but look, our leader up off the bike, typical cyclocross style.
Definitely, Peter. That's the advantage the Europeans will have on the technical uphill sections of this course in Cairns. There's been talk about it during the week, and Bart's showing that he's going to take the bike and carry it where possible.
Mike Closier going by, and then the Norma national champion, David Wiens of Colorado, who has suffered through a very disappointing season thus far. Let's go to John at trackside.
John, keep it going. John.
As the riders enter Jacob's Ladder, it's Brentjens to Jonas and Jimmy Killen 1, 2 and 3. Not much separates the three riders. We'll wait and see how they go in the next 4 laps.
Bart Brentjens still in the lead with a powerful surging style that appears almost effortless. And Jimmy Killen riding extremely well.
Good to see Jimmy up there with Bart. I'm not sure whether he can hold on to Bart over 5 laps because Bart will get better as the race goes on.
Brentjens looking so strong. Off the bike, cyclocross style. Jimmy Killen preferring to ride right now. That's a real typical Colorado type style.
Yeah, almost the motocross rider style coming in there from Jimmy Killen.
Cadel Evans coming by. Our first look at a very talented 17-year-old right now from Australia.
Well, Peter, that's an absolute surprise. We never thought Cadel Evans would be up there. He's come up to the seniors for this race, and wow, what a performance so far.
Yes, and he's running in 3rd place right now. Still our leader right now, Bart Brentjens.
And isn't Bart looking very focused at this stage of the race? There's Jimmy Killen chasing him also, but Bart going through the downhill. Sitting on the brakes, Bart Brentjens. Jimmy Killen also doing the same. It's a very technical downhill section and a mistake. Of course, that can cost you the race.
A terrific course right now, the heat of the day. Bart Brentjens carving down the complexities of life to just one simple thing, to go fast. And Jimmy Killen, the former member of the U.S. road cycling team, he is wonderfully strong on the bike. And there's the big story of the day so far, young Cadel Evans. Great, but Henrik Jonas knows about this only too well. He has succumbed to a flat tire. Still, he doesn't think of giving up.
That could be tragic for Jonas because he's lost minutes, and minutes is valuable in this section of the course. We're into the 3rd lap, and Bart Brentjens, he could have this race won already.
And now far away from home in the jungles of Australia, Bart Brentjens hears the words in his native tongue that are music to his ears. He is solidly in first.
15 op Killen, 3 minuten 30 op Evans en al meer dan 4,5 minuut op het groepje Rich, Closer, Elsnik en Bennett. Kom op, het is in orde. Did you get all that?
Very right, well done. Go, go.
Still in the lead and drawing strength from the crowd is Bart Brentjens.
Fitness really comes into effect here. Jimmy Killen doing the chasing, but he's chasing a very fit rider in Bart Brentjens, and here's the young fella.
Yes, Cadel Evans right now running through a tunnel of adulation. A lot of pressure on him, but he's getting a lot of strength. This is very historic. Jimmy Killen right now, the solid rider. Remember, a year ago, he led for more than a lap at the World Cup Finals in Vail. Cadel Evans right now, frankly, on the ride of his life, John.
I'm absolutely surprised, Peter. I have to look through the record books, but this looks like the best performance ever by an Aussie at a World Cup event.
Absolutely. Going by now, number 15, Ralph Berner, the German rider, strong. Bart Brentjens, everybody expected him to be in first today, but nobody expected this. 17-year-old Cadel Evans on the courageous run of a lifetime. He must be questioning, John, do I belong up here? But the answer is, yes, he does.
He does, and he is, and that's the main thing. He's doing very well. We also see Ralph Berner there, but Bart Brentjens coming through the finish line again.
And Cadel Evans right now, the crowd is loving it. A little bit of a smile right there from this guy.
Go, Cadel, put her on, son. He's doing it for the Aussies, and he's doing it proud. But Bart, look at him. He's focused.
Oh, he's so focused and so strong, and with that maturity. But remember, last year, Bart was only 17th in the World Cup standings. Now, he's riding in first.
What has happened in between, Peter?
Just an amazing, amazing transition from cyclocross to mountain biking and doing it so well. Number 15, the German rider, and right behind him is Cadel Evans on the climb. Looking strong. No chinks in the armor yet for Cadel.
Well, he's dropped to third, but he's still well in contention. This is going to be the tough part for Cadel because he's a young rider approaching a very tough uphill section on the 4th lap. He'll really start to feel it in his legs.
Even Jimmy Killen is behind him, the former junior world downhill champion. What a thrill.
And there's Peter Rick and Rob Woods close back to back. Peter Rick, a little bit off the pace today.
Yes, and it's a bit surprising. He was third in the 93 European Championships. Rob Wood, the Ritchie rider, now beginning to make a move. Hendrik Schurnis right now showing just why he wears the rainbow jersey. He's making an amazing comeback after the flat tire.
Schurnis is doing it well, but he's about 10 minutes behind the leader, Bart Brentjens of Holland. And Bart's doing it easy on the downhill section. Takes a sip of water as he comes towards the finish line on lap 4. There's one to go.
That's right, and on this very, very hot day, it doesn't appear that anybody is going to be able to catch Bart Brentjens. Number 15 coming by, Ralph Berner, followed by number 103, Pavel Elsnik, the Czech Republic rider, and Cadel Evans on the ride of a lifetime.
He's pushing it hard, Cadel Evans, but he's doing it tough, and Jimmy Killen's doing it even tougher.
Yes, and Jimmy Killen must be surprised right now, wondering what has supercharged Cadel Evans. That is certainly the story of this field right now as Rob Woods, up off the bike, pushes up this unforgiving hill one more time. Bart Brentjens, the Dutch rider, very solidly in the lead.
Ralph Berner of Germany following, and Pavel Elsnik, the Czech, is also up there in 3rd place. A long way to go still, but Bart Brentjens, he's minutes ahead, and the young Aussie, he's doing it well.
Cadel Evans in 4th place right now, but Bart Brentjens certainly setting the pace that nobody will be able to touch today. Clearly indicating, John, that he's going to be a factor in Vail at the World Championships.
A big factor in Vail, and the beauty about Bart at the moment is when he hits the pedals on the uphill sections, as we see him doing it easy on the downhill, but on the uphill he's just fantastic.
His bike handling skills are enormous.
Pavel Elsnik from the Czech Republic pedaling hard on the final uphill section.
And Bart Brentjens about to taste his first World Cup victory. How sweet it is. A very historic win for him.
Fantastic effort, Bart Brentjens. He deserves all the praise the crowd can give him, and isn't he happy?
A mixture of toughness and intelligence now coming in, and he is going to be some 8 minutes behind the German rider, Ralph Berner, followed by 103, Pavel Elsnik from the Czech Republic, the Diamondback rider, again, his best World Cup finish ever. And Mike Closure from Vail, Colorado, will take 4th.
And here's Cadel Evans, the Aussie kid, the best ever finish by an Aussie at a World Cup. He's 5th. I've got goosebumps, Peter.
Oh, it's amazing. A tired smile, but a great champion. And we go to the leaderboard.
I did a good race. I think I like the technical courses. You can do, it's very hard to follow the other riders, so it is your own race.
Certainly be a highlight of my life, I think, since I'm still junior, and to be able to place top 5 in a Grundig World Cup round. I don't know if that's ever been done before by anyone.
Because when you're so far back already 1st lap, and there's no way you even get close to a top finish here, you think about just quit the race.
And a taste of the bubbly for our winner. And one final look at his riding of elegance, skill, and grace. The crowd beginning to dissipate, and we're ready to wrap it up for you with a few final comments here from Cairns. Susan Diamante in the women's competition was wonderful.
Peter, Susan was fantastic today. It was a class race, really, over the whole 3 laps. Susan was a mile ahead of her Aussie opposition, and a class race from a class racer.
Absolutely. And Bart Brentjens, talk about class. He led from wire to wire.
Well, I've had the feeling all week that Bart was going to pull it off today here in Cairns. He just had that look about him during the race. The early laps, he was just incredibly tense. And then in the later section of the race, in the last lap, well, he was smiling on the uphill.
He was. And a young 17-year-old Australian boy, a local fellow, gave us a lesson in courage today. Despite the unforgiving heat, he was awesome.
Well, Cadel Evans, he wasn't doing much smiling for the whole race, but it was a fantastic effort from the young fella. He's come up from the juniors for this race, and showing that he's a racer of the future for sure.
Absolutely, perhaps a future world champion. That's going to do it for us from Cairns. For John Flynn, I'm Peter Graves. So long.